Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and I am so happy that you're here. So as you can see by the title of the video or even my thumbnail, we are back with another Budget Diaries. Y'all, I believe this is episode 12. I believe so, but I am filming this on I am filming this on August 5th. Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. We are in August. I am a little bit late, but in this video, we will be closing out my July budget. Off camera, I updated my spending all the way until the last day of the month, so July 31st. So what we are going to do is total up every category: groceries, eating out, spending, gas, unbudgeted, and any business expenses. We're going to see how much I've spent in each category, and then we are going to update my monthly budget just to kind of see how your girl did for the month of July based off my initial budgeting amounts. I have a feeling I went over budget. I mean, y'all have been with me pretty much through the entire month of July, so yeah, spending and unbudgeted expenses, I have a feeling they are more than they should be, and we'll talk about that later, but anyway, yeah, let's just go ahead and get on into it. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through every expense since the last time I have updated you all, simply because I don't want this video to be extremely long, but I will kind of give you a rundown of my spending since when? The 28th of July, I believe. So for the last 3 days of July, I really haven't done much. I would say the biggest expense was I had to spend $75 of unbudgeted money to update something in my teacher certification. So I had to do that. So on August 1st, I actually had a job interview for a middle school position, and I did not get the job. I had applied for a reading position, although I am only able to teach social studies because I was told last year that I can teach 1 year out of my subject. So I was like, okay, let me apply for a reading position at a school that I really wanted to teach at, teach reading for this 1 year. And while I'm teaching this year, I will take all the tests I need to for my certification and possibly add some subjects to my certification so that I can broaden my horizons, basically. Like, I don't want to just teach social studies, I want to teach other subjects. So I went into the interview pretty confident. The interview was really well, like it wasn't even really an interview. We were basically just chatting, me and the principal. It was really great. But he had to double check if I could actually teach out of my subject, because I had mentioned that in my prior year, I taught about 2 months of science. So he wanted to make sure that I could actually teach the position I applied for. So while the interview was going on, he was emailing someone in the school system to make sure that I was able to teach reading, and found out that I couldn't. Even though I only taught 2 months of science last year, that basically counted for a full year, which I did not know. So I wasn't able to get the job, but he did say that he was going to keep my resume on file just in case any social study positions open up at his school. So that's that. That's basically all that happened. So I went for it. I didn't get it, but it's not a no. It was just a not right now. So basically the $75 was to add an extension to my teaching certification so that I can teach more than social studies. And then we did go to SeaWorld July 31st, which was the day before my interview. We went with my mom and my brothers, but I only spent $8 at SeaWorld. My mom paid for everything else, so that was amazing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do, since I have color-coded my spending categories in my expense trackers, I'm going to go one by one, add them all up, and then write the total here. And then after I'm done with that, I will update my monthly budget in the actual column right here. Okay, so we're going to start with groceries. I'm going to look at all the purple colors and then put the total here. So for groceries, it was $119 that I spent this month. And that is just $119 over what I received in food assistance. Now you may be saying, girl, you get a lot of money in food assistance. I get like $700 and something dollars, but there's some things that food assistance does not cover. So that is the $119. So going into the month of August, I will try to do a little bit better at that. Sometimes when I go to Publix, I like to get like the rotisserie chickens that are already cooked, shrimp, things that are already cooked so that I don't have to cook. So sometimes I don't like to say lazy, because being a mom is a lot of work, and sometimes you just need to do things to make your life a little bit easier. So I really don't apologize for that, but that $119 is usually already cooked food. So next is eating out, and you can see these light blues. You know, this page wasn't bad, but definitely got to do better. So let's add eating out. Okay, so $137 for eating out, which is not bad. I think last month I did like triple that. My goal for July was to only spend $75 in eating out. I think I wrote it in my goal section, eat out, you know, $75 a month or less. Didn't happen, but I think it's still better than last month. So we're just gonna have to chill out on the eating out as well, which I think will be easier, because what I plan to do now that Lauren is starting school again and we still have that long commute is I just plan on packing a lunchbox full of things like in a cooler to keep cool. So that is my goal. It's just something that it's just gonna take preparation. All right, I have Judah with me, so you might only just see one hand working. Go ahead and say hi.
Hi.
There you go. Okay, so next we're going to move on to, what's the next one? Spending. So that is like a dark green color. Oh, did you poop? I smell poop. Okay, dark green.
I could change them.
Okay, so for spending, we're looking at a total of $662. And child. So I'm gonna say this really quick. I was convicted by a supporter, which is a good thing. When you're convicted, it means that there's something that you know needs to change. So you like feel this feeling where it's like, dang, I need to do better in a certain area. Like when someone's convicting you, it's almost like a form of love from that person. And it's also when you're receiving that conviction, it's like a form of humility. Like knowing that you are not perfect, knowing that you have things to work on. And it's also like I'm teachable, you know? So if someone tells me something that I need to change and do better at, I'm going to listen to them. Under certain circumstances, right? Not everything that someone says you need to listen to, but having wisdom and discernment, yeah. You know, listen to those who want to see you do well. I say all that to say this. So I had a supporter in my last video mention how I really need to just chill out with my spending, with me being unemployed, living off my savings. And yes, I do receive some income from Taylor Budgets. I need to still like chill the heck out, you know what I mean? And when I was reading the comment, I got convicted because I'm like, yeah, I need to do better. Because although I am sharing my journey, there is a section of me sharing my journey where it is an inspiration to others, and it is something that others are watching so that they can start implementing what I do into their daily lives. Like some people watch me and say, oh, she's budgeting well, I need to start doing this with my life. But if I am not budgeting well, then I am not stewarding over what God has given me, like this platform. Like, yes, it's to share my journey, but it's also to be an inspiration and to teach others. And if I am not doing well in my finances, yes, that's teaching you to do the opposite of me, but it's also like, girl, I cannot follow what Taylor is doing because she is just doing the most, and I cannot do that with my money. So I need to do better. And that is just me taking her constructive criticism and saying, yep, you're right, I need to do better. And I will see if I can find the comment and I'll put it up on the screen. But thank you for whoever said that. Thank you, girl, because it really did convict me. And it's giving, I cannot spend the way I used to because I do not have the money that I used to. And that's okay. Like, the money will come and the money will go. But what stays are the budgeting techniques. What stays is the financial discipline. What stays is the unneed, if that's a word. It's not a word, but you don't have to spend just because you have the money. It's those lessons that you learn along the way that have to stick. And I have this thing where when I don't have a lot of money, I spend more. Like when I did have the money, I didn't spend a lot. I was saving. But now that I don't have the money, it's almost like this, I'm gonna spend it because I won't have it later. It's like this, it's almost like, girl, you're not trusting God that he is going to come through for you. You know what I mean? So I'm just spending. I don't know if that makes sense, but it kind of makes sense in my head. So basically what I'm trying to say is that in order for God to give me more, he needs to trust me with the less that I already have. And I also have to be thankful that even in this season of lack, I still have, you know what I mean? Like, none of my bills have gone unpaid or anything like that. So my kids are taken care of, I'm taken care of. So I just need to understand that my life and my kids' life are not fulfilled and happy and joyful because of the things that I buy. And it's okay to say no. I have a problem with saying no, especially to my kids. So it's a for now, we don't need to get all that stuff. You know what I mean? And maybe with me saying no for a certain period of time, once I do have more money, I will realize that I don't need half of the things that I'm buying now. You know, like, I just need to chill out. So that was a long-winded explanation or just a talk about me needing to chill out with my spending, and it shows right here. Like, I'm doing the most, and honestly, I am sorry that I am not stewarding my platform the best way, but I'm going to do better in the future for sure. Okay, we are going to move on to gas. So let's see how much I spent. I think I went under budget with gas, but honestly, I'm not sure. So let's see. Okay, so $136. Not bad. I honestly don't know. I mean, for the month of July and it being summertime and things, it's not bad. Ooh, my budget was $90. Lord have mercy. All right, let's move to unbudgeted, which I don't want to see how I did with that, but we gotta do it. Okay, $407 in unbudgeted. And last up is business. Okay, just $50 in business. All right, so now we're just gonna transfer these numbers over to my monthly budget sheet. So groceries, I budgeted $150 because I do understand that I am going to buy things that are already cooked, but I only spent $119. So we were under budget with that. Eating out was $75. We spent $137. Spending was $350 in the budget, and I spent $662. Not great. And a lot of that was just taking Lauren places. Gas was $136. Blessings was $10. I always do 10. I just don't track it. Unbudgeted was $0. I spent $407. And then for business, I'm just gonna say I did $50. I really didn't have a budget for any business. Well, I do have a budget for business expenses, but not for like business spending. So maybe I need to start adding that. So last night in preparation for this video, I did fill out some more of the actual numbers. So for Taylor Budgets, I did bring in $500 this month. So thank you to all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was actually $4.99 and some cents, but I just rounded up. I also received $387 from support of child, and then nothing for miscellaneous. The last thing we are going to fill out in the actual column is for tithes. So since I received $500 in Taylor Budget's income, I always tithe 10%, and that was $50. So I already tithed online. So now what we're going to do is add up all the actual for my bills, daily spending, and debt, and then we are going to subtract what I received from Taylor Budgets and support of child, and then the difference is going to be what I actually took from my savings account. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so $1,352 was my total bill amount. So I budgeted $1,262, but the difference comes from I had to spend more from Shopify, which was a business bill, $2 more for HP, and then tithes. I don't budget anything for tithes because I don't know how much I'm going to receive in business income. But everything else was pretty much what I budgeted. So that was $1,352 for bills. Daily spending, let's add that up. Okay, $1,521. So that was a huge overage. Oh gosh, I'm holding Judah, so I can only do this with one hand. And then lastly, for debt and savings, everything was the same. So my total is $225. I'm sorry, y'all. I cannot write with one hand sometimes, especially when I'm holding Judah and he's literally just bouncing in my lap right now. Okay. So to get what I actually pulled from my savings, I'm going to add up the total bills, which was $1,352, plus total spending, $1,521. The fact that I spent more than my bills actually are is absurd. And then debt and savings, $225. We're going to subtract 500 minus 500, and then minus 387. So what I actually pulled from my savings was $2,211. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. What I am looking, based off of where my savings is now, I have about 2 more months until I really need to just like kick it in gear and either find a new job or just start being obedient to God and just doing what he's asking me to do with Taylor Budgets. I don't want to get a lot into it, but honestly, I've just been feeling just overwhelmed with life. Like, having 2 kids is more than I thought it would be. And And just based off my life update, you guys should know that it was not planned. So it was a lot of unplanned circumstances happening in my life in a very short amount of time. And I think I still haven't fully grasped like how much my life has changed and how much work it actually takes. And like, I knew raising kids is a lot, and I know it's the hardest thing in the world, but just adding one on top of that and also doing it alone is very overwhelming. Sometimes I get very hard on myself because I'm like, I should be doing this, and this. And then sometimes I have to give myself grace because I'm like, it's a lot. Like, anxiety is just on 10 almost every day. And sometimes all I can do is just take care of my kids. I don't even have time to take care of myself some days. I just take care of them. Yesterday was an example of that. I think it was one of the hardest days I've had as being a mom of two was yesterday. It was completely overwhelming. So I do believe I'm showing up as much and the best as I can, or does that make sense? I'm showing up in the best way I can and doing the most I can. And there's some people in my life who are saying, you just gotta push through, do. And then I have a lot of other people, sorry, Judah's pulling at my lip, that are saying you need to rest. So I'm trying to do both. Because I know that money isn't just gonna come into my hand like that. You know, I have to work for it. And now I have 2 kids and myself I have to take care of. And I know things will get better. Just some days, y'all, if I'm being honest, I am just I don't even know. It's like a little bit of disappointed in myself and a little bit of overwhelmed and a little bit of like, how did I get here? You know, so I don't know, but it is tough. And I think a lot of my overspending has to do with where my life is right now. And sometimes I buy and purchase things because it like makes me feel better in the moment. So I just do it. So if you can relate, you know, put it below in the comments, y'all, because sometimes I feel like I'm so alone. I do. I really, really do. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Honestly, I think that's all I plan to do. In my next video, I'll just give you a sneak peek. I've already started my August budget, or I've done my calendar. So, got my calendar done. And then I started filling out my monthly dashboard. So I am going to start my August budget with you all in my next video. It's not gonna be tomorrow, which is a Thursday, because Lauren has a hair appointment for back to school, and then she has cheerleading practice later on that night. But hopefully on Friday, no, she doesn't have cheerleading practice. She has back to school night tomorrow night. So it's not gonna be on Thursday, but hopefully on Friday. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for rocking with me with this Budget Diaries. I know that it's no longer an everyday series, so I appreciate you all being patient and adjusting with me, okay? All right, y'all. I love y'all. God bless y'all. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.